My name is Lena Carter, and for most of my life, I believed my family loved me or at least cared enough not to destroy me. But love, I've learned, is sometimes just a word families hide behind when they're about to break your heart. It started on a quiet Thursday afternoon. I was in my room, sitting by the window, scrolling through old photos of me and my sister Clara. We used to be inseparable, two halves of one childhood. But things had changed since she got engaged. She barely spoke to me anymore, and when she did, her words carried a sharp edge I couldn't quite name. That day, her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. I thought she'd left for the gym, but when I picked it up to bring it to her, the call was still on, still connected. I froze. I heard voices. "Don't worry," my mother's voice said softly. "We'll make her pay. She deserves this." My heart stopped. I didn't even realize I was breathing until my hands started shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. "Make who pay me?" Then I heard Clara's voice, calm, cold, familiar in a way that suddenly felt like poison. "She thinks we don't know what she did. But she's wrong. I'm done pretending, Mom. I'm done covering for her." I felt my throat tighten. What were they talking about? I wanted to hang up, but I couldn't. My body refused to move. I just stood there, gripping the phone, listening to the two people I loved most in the world plotting against me. "It has to look like her fault," Mom said. "It will," Clara answered. "By the time I'm done, no one will believe her." And then the call ended. I stood in the kitchen, staring at my reflection in the microwave door, trying to process what I'd just heard. My heartbeat was so loud it drowned out the silence that followed. They were talking about me. I didn't know why, but I knew that tone. That quiet, confident cruelty in my sister's voice. Something had been set in motion, and I was the target. I wish I could say I confronted them right there. But I didn't. I smiled through dinner that night. I laughed when Clara told a story. I even hugged Mom before bed. Because sometimes, before you fight back, you have to pretend you don't know you're in a war. I didn't sleep that night. I watched the ceiling fan turn shadows into circles while the house breathed in its usual rhythm. Pipes clicked. The fridge hummed. Somewhere outside, a stray dog barked as if warning me to stay awake. I lay there counting all the times I had trusted my sister, and all the times she had smiled the kind of smile that says, "Everything is fine," even when it wasn't. When morning came, I made coffee for Mom the way I always do. Clara walked in, kissed her cheek, and took the good plate, the one with the blue rim. She always takes the good plate. "Morning," she said to me, like last night didn't exist. "Morning," I said back, steady as I could. Clara started talking about her bridal shower. Mom lit up. She loves events. She loves roles. She loves order. It's not that she doesn't love me. It's that in our family performance, I'm the stagehand, essential, invisible, quiet. Clara and I are only 2 years apart, but the gap between us felt like a lifetime. She was the first in everything. If we both did something, hers made the refrigerator door, and mine made the grocery list useful, but temporary. When I got into a solid college on a scholarship, Mom hugged me. But when Clara landed a PR internship, she threw a party. I told myself it wasn't a big deal. I was the steady one, the fixer, the helper. But it chipped away at me like water wearing down stone. Clara's fiancé, Adrian, came into the story like a clean white shirt, crisp, charming, and impossible to ignore. He and Clara make sense. They are a brand. Their photos look like ads. Their apartment looks like a rental catalog. They are good at being seen. I thought I understood the rules of that world. Keep calm, stay kind, work hard, let other people narrate. But the phone call changed everything. It wasn't just a plot to embarrass me. It had weight. It had steps. It sounded like they had planned what would happen to me and how everyone else would react. I kept replaying Mom's words. "We'll make her pay." Pay for what? As I cleared the breakfast plates, my mind kept searching for the moment I might have made an unforgivable mistake. I landed on last winter. Dad's old house, The one he said would always be our safety net. Clara and Adrian wanted to use it as collateral for a quick property flip. I said no. I thought that was the end of it. Now I wondered if they'd done it anyway. Did they take Dad's house? And if something went wrong, were they planning to make me the scapegoat? That afternoon, I visited Dad. He looked at me like he already knew something was wrong. Did anyone borrow against the house? I asked. He frowned. Your mother asked. I said no. Twice. Last week Clara called me about it too. I said no again. On my way back I stopped by the old house. I remembered painting baseboards with Dad, eating soup on the floor when the dining table was covered in puzzles. I ran my fingers over a small nick in the counter where Clara once dropped Mom's favorite mug. We glued it back together and never told her. I never did. That night, I checked Mom's drawer for documents. I didn't find loans, but I did find the bridal shower budget, huge numbers, and a final note that made my blood run cold. Contingency covered, LC, my initials. Later, I found an email chain between Mom, the venue, and Clara. The payment method showed 3 names: Mom's, Clara's, and mine. I hadn't authorized anything. When I confronted Clara, she lied easily. When I asked Mom, she lied too. That night, I whispered to the mirror, "They're lying to me." The next morning, Clara's phone call confirmed it. She doesn't know yet. I'll handle it before Saturday. Just trust me. Adrian's name followed, he was in on it. I started keeping records, every word, every time, every lie. The bank called about a new charge to Studio Bloom events. I froze the account. The next day, Mom accused me of being drastic. Clara said I was jealous. They weren't panicking. They were performing. Then came the bridal shower. I was setting tables when the planner told me the payment hadn't cleared. I knew instantly. The frozen account. Moments later, Clara's voice rose across the room. You froze the account. You ruined everything. Everyone stared. Mom stepped forward, calm and disappointed. Lena, why would you do something so drastic? I said, because someone forged my signature. Clara laughed, waving fake documents. You signed these. You said whatever you need, Clara. Tears filled her eyes, perfect timing. The crowd saw a jealous sister breaking down, not a victim of fraud. I walked out, numb. I drove to Dad's. When I told him everything, he didn't interrupt. You have the papers? He asked. Copies, everything, I said. He nodded. Then let them think they've won. Let the truth do the rest. That night, I found Adrian's witness signature on the forged contract. That was my missing link. When I called him, his voice cracked. Please, Lena, you don't understand. I hung up after saying, you signed the wrong side of history. By noon, Mom called, trembling. Lena, what have you done? I said, the same thing you did, Mom. I started handling things. The trap they built for me was collapsing, and they were standing inside it. I wrote in my journal, they wanted me to fall, so I did. But when I hit the ground, I learned it was made of stone, not glass. For 3 days, I disappeared to Dad's lake house. He said, you can't fix people, Lena. You can only decide what their lives will cost you. I gathered evidence, documents, screenshots, and the recorded call they'd forgotten to end. Their own voices became my shield. When the bank called again, I said one word, proceed. I returned home days before the rehearsal dinner. They didn't expect me. I was polite, calm, and deliberate. My plan was simple: paper trail, proof, patience. I had a handwriting analyst confirm the forgery, a lawyer file formal complaints, and a house title locked under legal protection. I even gave a journalist friend background information, just facts, nothing more. The tension grew. Mom avoided my eyes. Clara whispered with Adrian behind closed doors. They thought I was broken. I was just quiet. When Mom tried to justify herself, it was temporary, Lena. I just wanted to help Clara, I asked. How is forgery temporary? She looked away. The mask slipped. I moved precisely. Anonymous evidence went to Adrian's company's compliance department. The next day, he was suspended. Clara came into my room screaming, "You're going to destroy everything." I said, "No, I'm just letting the truth breathe." Then I sent Mom the forensic report. Her voice broke on the phone. "You sound like your father," she said. "Good," I answered. The investigation finished what I started. The bank nullified all forged documents. The vendors contacted Clara directly for unpaid bills. Their business collapsed under its own lies. When Clara came crying, "They froze everything, Lena. Please fix this." I handed her an envelope with all the evidence and a note. "You wanted to write my story. Now read how it ends." Then came the rehearsal dinner. Lights, music, a perfect lie ready for its final scene. Halfway through, someone whispered to Clara, "There's an article." My journalist friend had published it, calm, factual, devastating. The headline read, "Local event company under investigation for financial fraud, family signatures forged." My mother's voice played in the recording. "Don't worry, we'll make her pay." Whispers filled the hall, phones lit up. Guests stared. Mom approached me, trembling. "You did this," she said. "No," I told her, "you did this. I just stopped cleaning up after you." The event ended in silence. The world finally saw what I'd known all along. In the months that followed, everything unraveled. Mom sold her share in the business and moved to a smaller town. Clara lost Adrian, her reputation, her brand. I stayed by the lake with Dad, repainting the house, reclaiming peace. One evening he said, "Truth doesn't punish people. It just removes their disguises." He was right. I hadn't created monsters. I'd only revealed them. Now I write again stories about truth, forgiveness, and survival. I always start them the same way. There once was a woman who learned that love without respect is just control wearing a smile. Sometimes, when I sit by the lake, I still think about that call. If Clara hadn't forgotten to hang up, I'd still be playing the good sister. Funny how betrayal can be a teacher. It teaches you who they are and who you are pretending not to be. They lost control. They lost the version of me they could manipulate. And what did I find? My voice, my peace. A truth that's heavier, lonelier, but finally mine. Every night, I whisper to the wind, "You made me the villain of your story." But I became the author of my own. That's the real revenge, not destroying them, but surviving them completely. Because betrayal doesn't end you. It introduces you to who you were meant to become. Silence can be strength, patience can be power, and truth always finds its way home.